Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett might be the most split I've ever been on a UFC main event. On one hand, you have this guy, Paddy Pimblett, who has continued to improve over every single one of his UFC fights and has a level of plot armor that we haven't seen since Dom Toretto in the Fast and Furious movies. And on the other hand, you have a guy in Justin Gaethje, who's been a force in the lightweight division for forever, looking to become the first ever two-time interim champion in UFC history. But the one thing I'll say about Justin Gaethje, him threatening retirement really turned me off of him. But I'll say this, everybody shit all over Paddy Pimblett's wins, saying he didn't even deserve this title shot to begin with, which I'm not even going to say is a lie. But now that he's fighting Justin Gaethje, they're acting like this guy's a fucking world beater and Justin Gaethje's washed and he's fucking done. It makes no sense. The fans have been really weird in the discourse surrounding this fight, from glazing Paddy and shitting on Justin Gaethje, then other people glazing the shit out of Justin Gaethje and shitting on Paddy Pimblett, when in reality, this is going to be a sick fight. It might not be the two best lightweights in the world or two of the three best lightweights in the world, but it is still a really fun matchup. And I think this is going to be a really tough task for Paddy Pimblett as he takes on his first top 5 contender in the division for the interim belt. I think Justin Gaethje has the striking advantage. I don't think that's a hot take whatsoever. Justin Gaethje's battle tested. He's really tough in the pocket, has good cardio, has more big fight experience. He's won 3 of his last 4, albeit 2 of them were against Rafael Fiziev, and the other one I think was a head kick KO win over Dustin Poirier, and then obviously got shut down by Max Holloway and that iconic KO loss. He's 9-5 in the UFC. His only 5 losses, again, are all to elite guys. Dustin Poirier, Eddie Alvarez, maybe he's not elite, but Khabib, Charles, and Max Holloway. Paddy Pimblett, on the other hand, jiu-jitsu advantage, very, very elite level jiu-jitsu. He also kind of has this certain aura around him that makes you think this guy has to become the interim champion to fight Ilia Topuria. He also has a better chin. Scousers don't get knocked out, remember that.
He says he's a sorcerer, they don't get knocked out.
And he's younger. And he has a reach advantage in this, and he just has a bigger frame. I think these two dudes are like the same height, but Paddy Pimblett just looks a lot bigger in size. Maybe that's because he comes in fucking cutting 30 pounds for these fights. But he's 7-0 in the UFC. 3 of his last wins came against washed Tony Ferguson, round 1 sub over Bobby Green, and then also had a TKO finish over Michael, the fucking bum Chandler, in his last fight where he absolutely dominated him. I think this is Paddy's best path to win. He can use his nasty kicks and kicks to the body that, helped him, and knees also, that led to the finish against Chandler. His team does a great job in next-gen game planning. Paddy has good fight IQ. Like, he used to not have any concept of what distance management was. Now he understands that concept. He's improved throughout his career. But the one thing that's really turning me off from fucking picking Paddy Pimblett is he's nowhere near the level of guys that Justin Gaethje fights or even loses to. Even in the grappling department, Paddy Pimblett, I do think, has great jiu-jitsu, but he's no Charles Oliveira. He's no Khabib Nurmagomedov in terms of guys who've just straight up out-grappled Justin Gaethje and finished him on the ground. Even in the striking department, he's not at the level of a Max or Dustin Poirier, not only offensively striking, but even on the feet defensively. Paddy Pimblett's not nearly as sound as Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway is. Like, his chin's always up, his hands are always down, and I don't really see him shutting down Justin Gaethje on the feet to the level that Max Holloway did, which was that's the greatest performance we've ever seen against Justin Gaethje, on the feet at least. I mean, we've seen Khabib and Charles dominate this guy on the ground, but in terms of strictly on the feet, Justin Gaethje got absolutely schooled by Max Holloway. And another thing about Paddy Pimblett, look, this guy got fucking countered by Jared Gordon and Michael Chandler, a fight that he obviously lost to Jared Gordon. Like, he took damage in those fights, even though he did mog Michael Chandler for the majority of that fight. He still got hit cleanly a couple times. And again, people want to keep talking about how old Justin Gaethje is. He's not washed. He is an old fuck, don't get me wrong, but he can still scrap with anyone. Looked really good on the feet against Rafael Fiziev. Obviously got taken down twice, which I'll touch on a little bit more, but he could scrap with anybody. He isn't some bum like Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, me calling him a bum is going to be a theme in this video. Michael Chandler does nothing soundly in MMA. His skills in MMA are done. In the beginning of his UFC run and when he was in Bellator, he was solid. He sucks now. So that win I don't really rate super highly, but Justin Gaethje, he can defend takedowns when necessary. I think he has like a 60%, maybe, does it say it here actually? I think he has like a 60% 68% takedown defense. So he can defend takedowns when he commits to defending takedowns. I know that sounds stupid, but Justin Gaethje also has a ton of power in the hands. And one thing that Paddy Pimblett's really going to have to do in this fight is he's going to have to, again, keep the distance, stay out of Justin Gaethje's punching range, and also really move around the octagon a lot. I mean, Max Holloway did a great job of that, where the constant movement and staying out of Justin Gaethje's range really frustrated him, and Max was able to pick him apart. Look at the Rafael Fiziev fight, Justin Gaethje's last fight. Fiziev is like this Muay Thai fighter where he's fighting stationary a lot, not moving a ton, kind of standing in front of you, and that hurt him a lot. Justin Gaethje was able to pick him apart as this fight went on and eventually drop him when they got into the pocket. Paddy's not going to be in that Muay Thai stance, so I think he's going to fare a lot better than Fiziev, at least in the movement department. And again, I think he's going to have to follow that kind of Max Holloway game plan where he's constantly moving around, coming in and out of Justin Gaethje's punching range and just kind of keeping him guessing. And now if this gets to the floor, Paddy Pimblett's going to dominate because Rafael Fiziev, I'm going to put that clip in here, had an inverted triangle on Justin Gaethje where there was an arm free and Fiziev didn't attack the arm whatsoever for either an arm bar or Kimura. Like basic shit that even I see as a shitty white belt. I'd be like, oh shit, maybe attack the arm. It's free, isolated. You could get a submission that way. Paddy Pimblett will attack that arm if it gets in that position where Justin Gaethje's just flat on his ass or flat on his back and isn't doing anything. Gaethje does have some wild scrambles, which I could see Paddy Pimblett trying to neutralize and maybe jumping on a sub. He isn't really a traditional wrestler, though. Like, when he was in Cage Warriors, you kind of saw him going at more singles and doubles in the center of the octagon, even on the cage. But we haven't really seen a ton of that in the UFC, so when people talk about this, Paddy Pimblett grappling advantage, he mostly will go for takedowns when he's in the clinch or after he's hurt you on the feet. And one thing that would worry me here if I'm Paddy Pimblett is Justin Gaethje is a monster in the clinch. He really fucking beats you up. But again, Paddy Pimblett will jump guard when he's in the clinch or he hurts you, and then he's going to take you down. He did a great job with top control and passing the guard against Michael Chandler. Showed great jiu-jitsu in that fight. Michael Chandler sucks again. But the thing, again, that I want to go back to the point, Justin Gaethje, dangerous in that pocket. We saw him drop Fiziev with an uppercut. He can land a right hand or a left hand over the top and inflict a ton of damage. So if I'm Paddy Pimblett and I'm getting in these exchanges with Justin Gaethje, because one way or another, Paddy Pimblett is going to find himself in the pocket with Justin Gaethje. If I'm Paddy Pimblett, I'm biting down. I'm biting down and I'm praying to God. I'm saying, God, let me land a takedown here. And I'm taking any chance I have to land a takedown here because that's going to be the key for Paddy Pimblett. Can he get takedowns in those exchanges where he's in the pocket or in the clinch with Justin Gaethje? And shit, if he has to pull guard, which isn't necessarily smart to do, fucking do it against Justin Gaethje. See what happens. Paddy, again, looked great on the feet against Michael Chandler, which isn't necessarily that impressive because Michael Chandler has overrated power and moves forward in the octagon at you like a fucking grunt from Halo. He just moves like an ogre. He sucks. And Paddy did do a good job, I'll say, in that fight, blitzing forward and landing shots, landing knees. And he also does this funny thing where, like, you crash it. Like, this happened a couple times against Michael Chandler, where Paddy Pimblett has his hands low and he's essentially, like, charging up a fucking uppercut. Like, he isn't hiding the fact that he wants to throw this right uppercut at your face. It's almost like Popeye, Popeye the Sailor. And I look at it this way. As long as this fight stays on the feet, Gaethje should win. He's a lot sharper than Michael Chandler. Justin Gaethje has a solid jab as long as he remembers that he has a jab. He obviously has nasty calf kicks, which he can use to pick Paddy apart. And you know for a fact that first nasty Justin Gaethje calf kick that lands within 10 seconds of the fight, Joe Rogan is going to be fucking creaming watching Justin Gaethje throw those calf kicks. He's going to be like, it's almost bizarre the damage that Justin Gaethje inflicts with those calf kicks. And some kid's going to be watching the UFC for the first time. It'll be his first card ever because his mom has Paramount, and he's gonna be like, why is Joe Rogan infatuated with calf kicks? And you're gonna see why, because Justin Gaethje throws some nasty ones. Gaethje also has a nasty left hook. I could see him dropping Paddy that way. Again, Paddy Pimblett's striking defense sucks. That chin is always in the air, his hands are always down. And Gaethje, again, gets this reputation as this chinny old corpse, but he's so much better than anybody that Paddy Pimblett has fought. Like, Max is the only dude who's ever really shut down Justin Gaethje on the feet. I know he's gotten rocked plenty of times, but I'm talking about when it was strictly on the feet, what the fuck did I step on there? Max Holloway fucking schooled this guy. And one thing that I'm going to keep flipping back and forth between points of why I like this for one fighter and why I don't like it for another. I think Paddy can counter Gaethje's calf kicks well with teeps, kicks to the body, which Paddy is nice kicks to the body. We saw Fiziev do a lot of damage to Justin Gaethje that way. And Justin Gaethje also does this weird thing where he'll try and like headbutt kicks, which is pretty dumb. And we saw it kind of happen against Dustin Poirier. So I could see Paddy doing a lot of damage that way. Again, he also has the reach advantage in this fight. Like if you look at these two dudes, Paddy Pimblett looks a lot bigger, but they're essentially the same height. Justin Gaethje just has this weird build where his arms look pretty short and he doesn't have like super broad shoulder. He just has like one of the oddest builds in the UFC. But Gaethje, I'll say this also. He's going to move his head unlike fucking Michael Chandler, who again moves in the octagon like a grunt from Halo. So he's going to be a lot harder to hit. I don't think he's like the most defensively sound. Again, to the body, you can hurt him. And with that head kick, Paddy Pimblett, I think, can find success there. But I just don't see Paddy Pimblett doing enough on the feet for me to not pick Justin Gaethje. Like even in Gaethje's losses, like when he was dropped against Holloway he dropped Holloway before he got killed. He flushed Khabib with like a nasty shot, beat the shit out of Charles. Like even in his losses, he has moments where he beats the shit out of you. And are you really banking on Paddy Pimblett to be able to eat those shots? I know he has a great chin, but he hasn't faced a guy like Justin Gaethje with Justin Gaethje's power. I think Paddy Pimblett's really going to have to get to the ground fast or else it gets ugly. And again, keep in mind, everybody shit on Paddy Pimblett. I wasn't really one of them. Like I kind of criticized plenty of his wins, but I always thought the guy was talented. He has continued to get better, but people are now acting like this guy's like Charles Oliveira level jiu-jitsu who's just going to instantly sub Gaethje, which, listen, there's a chance it gets to the ground and he instantly subs Gaethje, but his jiu-jitsu is not to the level of a Charles Oliveira. And I also want to point this about Paddy Pimblett. This guy does get like clean shots rocked on him a lot. And I know some of the ones I'm going to bring up are from a while ago, but he's gotten hurt by random NPCs like Rodrigo Vargas or Luigi Mangione. Or Mangione, that's not the guy's name, but he was a random Italian UFC fighter. Gaethje would finish Paddy Pimblett in sequences like that. He's a lot harder of a hitter. He's more technical. And even if Paddy Pimblett gets this guy to the ground, I do think Gaethje with his wild scrambles can get back up. I mean, Fiziev took him down twice pretty easily early in the fight, and Gaethje still was able to get back up, wasn't controlled for a ton. Paddy isn't like as clean of a striker as even like a Charles or a Fiziev, who are really talented Muay Thai strikers who throw much better straight punches. Paddy Pimblett's kind of throwing these punches from weird angles, and it's not super technical, but it kind of works. I just think Gaethje's going to win this if he keeps it standing enough. I could see a world where it goes to decision, where like Gaethje kind of picks him apart over 5 rounds, but I think it just might be too early for Paddy Pimblett. I think, I do want Paddy Pimblett to win this. I just want to put out that way. I think a Paddy versus Ilya matchup is a lot more intriguing for the lightweight division. On the other hand, you could also be like, well, if Gaethje wins, it could kind of keep things moving along, where maybe we get Arman versus Gaethje. Like if Paddy wins, then we probably have to wait for Arman to fight anybody meaningful until like June, where he'd fight like the Charles versus Max winner. So I guess in that way, maybe you want Justin Gaethje to win, but I think the UFC would rather Paddy win. They want that Paddy versus Ilya fight. Again, Paddy hasn't really fought anybody in that top 10. I know Chandler was 8, but fucking Michael Chandler sucks. He hasn't fought anybody else. I do think Paddy Pimblett would be a lot of guys in the top 10. As much as people want to shit on how the UFC maneuvered him through the rankings, like Paddy Pimblett would beat Dan Hooker. He beat BSD. He beat Rafael Fiziev. I think he'd probably beat Gamrot too. Like I think he'd beat a lot of these guys. And I saw some comparisons to like a beat. This is like when BSD fought all the way up to fight Dustin Poirier. I kind of understand that. I think Paddy Pimblett's a lot better than BSD. So slightly, but it is a massive jump in competition for him. Gaethje, better striker, more powerful, more technical. I just think he wins this. And if Paddy wins this, it's just going to be he gets him to the mat within the first 2 rounds, and that's the fight. It's fucking over for my boy Rufus. I think Gaethje's going to get a round 3 or 4 finish. The left hook's going to be there against Paddy Pimblett, who is very, like, I don't want to call him chinny, but there are holes to exploit. We've seen plenty of people hit him with flush shots. Also, another thing that I like for Gaethje, if he can get Paddy Pimblett's back to the fence. Paddy Pimblett has done this a lot, whether it's against Michael Chandler or Bobby Green. Like, Bobby Green isn't going to take advantage of your deficiencies that way. And Michael Chandler doesn't have the striking prowess or even the power to put Paddy Pimblett away, put him away against the cage. If Gaethje gets Paddy consistently with his back to the cage, I could see it get very ugly for Paddy Pimblett very fast. And I hope Paddy wins. I'm going to be honest with you. If Paddy Pimblett wins this too, I want to be proud of it. I want it to be like an early finish where he just fucking mogs Justin Gaethje. I would love for Paddy Pimblett, if he does get an early finish, I want him to show me improved striking defense, improved striking in general, and then the ability to get Justin Gaethje to the ground very easily. So if he wins, I want it to be in dominating fashion. And I want to kind of leave off on one more point. I think it's easier to game plan for Justin Gaethje than it is for Paddy Pimblett. Like, Justin Gaethje, there's a large body of work. You kind of know he's going to throw a lot of shit at you. It's like somewhat unpredictable, but you know what he's going to do when the fight starts. He's going to come out there working calf kicks, and I could see Paddy Pimblett maybe taking advantage of that and taking Justin Gaethje to the ground that way. And I really just hope Paddy shows improves upon his holes that he has in his game, and just shows me enough that I can have confidence for the future of your career. Because if you go out there, Paddy Pimblett, and you get fucking mogged by Justin Gaethje, I'm picking Justin Gaethje to win this fight. But if you get fucking mogged by him, that's going to turn a lot of people off, because, you know, people are going to be out there be like, wow, you got beat by a washed old Justin Gaethje who's 37, has been in the division for forever, and you're Paddy Pimblett, you're talking about how you're going to fucking finish this guy. Especially if you get knocked out. And we have to hear about scousers, sorcerers don't get knocked out. If that happens, it's a really bad look for Paddy Pimblett. This might be the easiest he ever gets touching the belt. Paddy, you got to go out here and fucking win this fight. I hope if he loses again, just show me improvement. I want to follow your career and be a fan of you. Just show me improvement. But I think Justin Gaethje is going to win this again. More technical of a striker, more power, and also, he's just fought so many more high-level guys. He doesn't lose to dudes at Paddy Pimblett's level. And that might be a bad take by me. Like, Paddy Pimblett might win this, and fuck, he could beat Illy. He could beat Illy, you know what I mean? This tape might age like shit. But Justin Gaethje, up to this point, only loses to really the best of the best. Only loses to guys who are champions or literally at the champion level, like a Dustin Poirier. I don't think Paddy Pimblett's there yet. Given another year or two, maybe, and I think Paddy Pimblett is going to be at a level of a Justin Gaethje, like to that caliber of a fighter where he can really compete for the belt. I think Justin Gaethje's just going to be better in close, more powerful in the hands. Again, better striker, more technical. I'm just repeating myself here because the video is getting repetitive. I'm just taking Justin Gaethje here to beat Paddy Pimblett. Again, everybody make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I do not hate Paddy Pimblett. I just want to make that clear. I kind of hope he wins this, but I don't have... It's also... I know this video is running a little longer if you're still watching this point, but, oh, fuck, what was I even going to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. No, actually, now I do. I don't actually have too much of an emotional attachment to this main event, because, I like Justin Gaethje, I like Paddy Pimblett, but I'm not, I'm not, fans of it. This isn't, like, a Charles or a Dustin Poirier or, like, a Pereira or a DDP where I have, shit, if they lose, I'm going to be depressed. I just hope it's a sick fight. I hope somebody goes out fucking cold, whether they get subbed or it's a sick knockout. Justin Gaethje knockout would be hilarious if he just bombs Paddy Pimblett with a left, which is going to be there. I'm leaning towards Justin Gaethje. I'm going to pick him by 4th round TKO, and maybe Paddy Pimblett's, thinks it's an early stoppage and complains. He's still kind of there, but he's just going to complain. Either way, Justin Gaethje by 4th round finish. Book it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Full card predictions coming out possibly tomorrow or Thursday. Thank you all for watching. The doc is signing off.